Good morning, my friends. I'm starting to get the weather a little bit here, but I'm trying to get a little better here. I'm going to go first. 1 Samuel chapter 28, 7 through 14, and this is pretty short, but it's something you need to know. It says this: Then said Saul unto his servant, Seek me a woman who has a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said unto him, Behold, there is a woman who has a familiar spirit at Endor, Endor. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment, and he went, and 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray you, divide unto me by the familiar spirits, and bring me him up whom I shall name unto you. And the woman said unto him, Behold, you know what Saul has done, how he has cut off those who have familiar spirits, and the wizard out of the land. Wherefore then laid you up a snare for my life, to cause me to die. And Saul swore by her, by the Lord, saying, As the Lord lives, there shall no punishment happen to you for this thing. Then said the woman, Who shall I bring up unto you? And he said, Bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spoke to Saul, saying, Why hast you deceived me? First, I want you to realize it says the woman saw Samuel. Keep that in mind. At this point, she recognized who Saul was, that he was king. And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for what sawest thou? See that? For what sawest thou? Samuel has not seen nothing, has he? He asked the witch, What sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw God descending out of the earth. And he said unto her, What form is he of? He asked the witch, What form is he of? He ain't seen a thing. And she said, A old man comes up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived. See that word? Perceived. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. Now, if you look up the word spirit there, and the concordance, you find that in Samuel 3 times. Verse 28:7, 28:7, and 28:8, where the number 178 is used. In fact, the only other time 178 is used is way down in 2 Chronicles 33:6. It's a number you don't see much. It's not a regular number for the word spirit. That 178. When you look it up, it refers to a tranquiloquist, if I'm pronouncing it right. And I love those shows. You ever seen those people on TV that have these little muppets in their hands and they make them talk while even moving their voice? Tranquiloquist. And that's all the woman did. She just threw her voice to make it sound like it was coming from somebody else. Samuel, was never risen from the dead. Now you take that word spirit and how it's used. Check these words out yourself. And you look at the scriptures where Saul didn't see a thing. He asked the woman everything. He just perceived it was who the woman said it was. She never called up Samuel at all. She just simply threw her voice. It also means here not only a tranquiloquist, but a mumbler, a wineskin from its hollow sound. You know how you can take an empty bottle and you can just kind of like blow over down? The same thing. It's just VENTRIORILOQUIST. Tranquiloquist. Ash from a jar. That's how it's put it there. See, it's not a regular spirit as far as calling up a spirit, because a different word would have been used. And it used the number here is 178. So Samuel was never raised from the dead by the witch. She just simply used trickery and through her voice and perceived that it was Samuel. And it's that simple. And it's just using God-given common sense and reason in reading passages in the Bible and looking up words. Look at all the different words for spirit and see how they are used, and you would see 178. I only see it so far here used 4 times in the whole Bible, 3 times right there. It was referring to a tranquiloquist, one who just throws their voice. So it's just using God-given common sense, and most people are teaching it that she actually raised up the dead. It's totally unscriptural and unbiblical. I hope some of you find it a little interesting, because it's being taught that the witch raised them from the dead, because that's what most commentaries are saying. But you're not looking at the word spirit, number 178, and found that along with the context for Saul. Saul didn't see a thing. He asked the woman everything. What is he of? What did he look like? And it says he perceived that he was just going by what the witch was saying. And I'm sure the witch knew how he would have looked, because she knew who Samuel was. So she knew that, hey, he got this mantle. So just use God-given common sense, people, when you're reading scriptures, and look at them carefully. If you don't understand something, just look words up, instead of looking at commentaries and taking everybody's word for something. Just look it up, because it's very clear that Samuel was not risen up from the dead by the witch. And it's also very clear that Saul didn't see a thing. He was just going by what the witch said. Tranquiloquist, the ones who throws their voice. So I thank you for your time. I hope it's been helpful to some.